Today I'm going to show you how I made this wooden fishing toy. Let's build that. First I cut an 8-inch section of 1-inch poplar dowel for the handle, and then a 17-inch section of oak dowel for the rod. And then I rounded all the corners with some sandpaper. Now I cut a 3/4 inch and a 1-inch section. That's for the reel, and that's the base of the reel. And I just rounded those corners as well. Then I ripped a 1-inch by 1-inch stock on the table saw with a 2x4, and I used this to make the reel base that the reel will mount to, and I just cut that into a 2-inch section, so it's 1-inch by 1-inch by 2-inch. Then using the scroll saw, I cut out a 2-inch circle out of hardboard as the reel face that the handle will attach to. I just used a file to clean up all the edges and round out my mistakes and smooth it out so it was nice and polished, finished piece. And 5/8 dowel, I cut a 1-inch section for the hook and rounded those corners, and then I rounded all the corners on the reel base just to give it a polished look. And I marked the center of our handle, and I drilled a 1/2-inch hole for the rod to insert into. And I drilled an equivalent hole in the reel base in the center of a 1-inch by 1-inch square. And there's the rod all assembled. Now I drilled a pilot hole in my reel handle, and then I drilled a hole in my reel, and then I countersunk it, and I made the hole in the reel big enough so that it wouldn't grab the screw. And then I just tightened it enough to keep it free spinning just a little bit. And I drilled a hole in the center, and I drilled a hole to countersink it, and then I drilled a hole in the center of the reel base, the 1-inch stock. And I made sure these holes were big enough to not grab the screws, and put some glue, clamp the two pieces together, and just let the glue dry for a little bit. Then I screwed it into my reel base and did the same thing, tightened it up just enough so it was still able to free spin. And that's the pretty much completed rail. I dry fitted everything together and marked out 6 inches, 3 6-inch gaps, and these are where the eyelets are going to go. I pre-drilled the eyelet holes, like I said, 6 inches apart, and then I screwed in 3 eyelets. I'm not sure the size, but I just had them on at hand, and just make sure all the eyelets are running along the length of the rod and they're all even. And then I put some glue on the reel, slid the handle through it, or slid the rod through it, and then with the excess glue I glued on the handle. Check the alignment, make sure that the eyelets are on the reel side, make sure everything's straight, and I just clamped it and let the glue dry. And these are the magnets, so I picked a drill bit the same size as my neodymium magnets, and I drilled a hole in my hook the depth of the magnet, and I drilled a hole all the way through, this little bit bigger than my twine, and then I drilled a slightly bigger hole so that my knot will be able to go down past the hole for the magnet. Thread the string through, tie a knot, stuff it down in the recessed hole, and your magnet goes in the outside. And I drilled an angled hole inside of the reel for the string to go through, and I just threaded the string through the reel, and there's my kid seeing what I'm doing. Tied a knot, and I didn't show it, but I melted that knot and just pressed it into the wood so it was real flush. And there's the finished pole. Then on my scroll saw, I just cut out some free-handed fish. I ended up doing 5 fish altogether, a puffer, a shark, and just a couple random ones. I'm not really designed off of anything, so you can really make whatever you want, as many as you want. This is a 3/4 inch poplar hardwood, and then I just cleaned up all the edges with a file, and I rounded all the corners over so they weren't so pointy, and then faced it with some sandpaper. Then I used the same size drill bit and drilled a hole for my magnet, just deep enough for the magnet to fit in it. And then you gotta make sure that you orient your north-south poles the same so that your fish will actually stick. And I just used some super glue and popped a magnet in the hole and let it dry. And here's all my finished fish, and here's the pole working. And as you can see, it's quite strong and holds the fish no problem. So hope you guys like this project, and hopefully you want to make one yourself, and this video helps you if you wanted to do that. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. If you want to see more of these videos, feel free to subscribe to my channel. Like and comment really helps my channel grow. And there's the shark. And again, thanks for watching. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you on the next project. Later, guys.